7 o'clock on this Tuesday. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded 7 o'clock newscast brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. Here's what we have coming up for you in news on this Tuesday. The DeWitt County Land Use Committee Tuesday night debated the next step as it awaits plans for a planned solar project in the county. Solar's been top of mind in both Clinton and DeWitt County. We get a recap of last night's Land Use Committee meeting coming up in news this morning. We heard on regional radio yesterday from the teachers of Clinton schools about this latest round of Clinton Community Education Foundation grants distributed by the CCEF. Today we hear from the administrators of some of the buildings that were the recipients of those grants. And Illinois Sheriff's Association scholarship deadline is coming right up. That story also in news on this Tuesday. But first, we stream to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin insurance agent in Clinton. Solar farms are top of mind right now for DeWitt County officials. At Monday night's DeWitt County Land Use Committee meeting, Chair Buck Carter questioned if it was too early to begin preparing with Cummins Engineering for the arrival of the planned Prairie Flats Solar Farm. Zoning Administrator Liz Weichel indicated the plans for the farm should be ready by the end of the month.
They haven't filed yet, have they?
Prairie Flats, I had an introduction call with them the other day, which I had Dee Dee sit in, and Terry Fountain was on as well. They are looking to possibly have their paperwork into us by the end of this month. So that's kind of why we're getting this in place, because they're going to start submitting through the month, and we're going to have to start looking at stuff. So I think that's why Terry wanted to get this engineering thing in place, because it's coming sooner rather than later.
I understand that, but I thought Blue Iris that we didn't hire the engineer until after we had the
building permits.
Joe Whitty, D.D. Rentmeister, and Weichel dove into the county ordinances to see if there was anything that clearly stated an inability to begin work with Cummins before Prairie Flats had received building permits.
Yeah, so I was looking at the ordinance, and it's titled 157.09 is compliance with building permits, where it says the county shall retain at the applicant's expense the services of an independent engineering consultant. It says to assist with permitting application and observe construction of the SES. So that to me kind of indicates it's after the siting permit for building permit. But I thought as far as, so I did a search on engineer, and it seems like that the location specific where we were saying that we were going to engage somebody would be 157.09. So I guess my question is, distraction from that, but do we follow this one up with another one that includes the building permit assistance, or was this intended to be all encompassing? What I can tell you is it does say in the agreement, it indicates the scope does not include the review of the proposed on-site battery storage, comma, plan review, comma, or construction observation. So that seems to be very narrow in scope, that this is with the siting permit application review and not so much for the second phase of this, which would be building permit review.
Correct.
Due to the lengthy review process, the committee decided it would be best to agree as soon as possible with Cummins. The agreement would only cover the review of the siting permits and not any actual construction, and the agreement will come at a later date.
Because they told us at that meeting that we had that they planned on filing by the end of the month, and Terry said this, what Elizabeth said, that to get on it because the board meeting is the 20th.
Yeah.
So if they do get it that last week of March, review's going to start, has to start immediately because you've got 45 days.
Yeah, we have to meet by the middle of April. Yeah.
And the board meeting isn't even until April 24th.
Middle of May. And we'd want Cummings to have done their due diligence and had enough time to review everything. So I don't think it hurts to get the agreement in place, but what I want to clarify is that there should be another agreement if it's approved.
If it's approved for construction.
For the construction and the building permit.
So this agreement doesn't cover construction?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think it should.
No.
I think so, and call this out as just really the siting permit application review. understanding that because it does even talk about the funding. It says local funds, in parentheses, developer next dam. To me, it's the county's paying for us out of the fees from the siting permit application.
While there was a brief discussion over using a different engineering firm, the committee ultimately decided to forward the agreement to the state's attorney, Dan Markwell, before it moves on to the full county board. Weichel also informed the committee there has been some turnover within Alta Farm staff, while the sound study previously requested has been complete, is also fighting cybersecurity problems that have further delayed the progress of the study. 13 minutes after 7 o'clock is news time on this Tuesday. Coming up in sports this morning, Supersectional boys basketball action from Monday night. A couple of local teams had their seasons come to an end on Monday. We'll highlight those matchups coming up in sports just after 7:30. An annual tradition in Clinton schools in the early spring months is the distribution of grants from the Clinton Community Education Foundation. This year, nearly $22,000 was awarded to teachers across the district, and the foundation's Chris Schaefer says it is her favorite thing they do.
We have an application process where teachers put in for equipment or materials to supplement what they can provide in the classroom and make it more exciting, things that are not covered by budget. And so we get these grant applications, and then we do prize patrol to let teachers know that they were selected. And it is my favorite time of the day for CCEF.
Clinton Junior High School principal Jim Peck calls the foundation a blessing and believes it helps enhance an already robust lineup of offerings in the walls of his school building.
Extremely blessed to have CCEF and the ability to kind of put in for some of these extra things that aren't normally in a supply budget. Just the ability to throw out ideas and think about how we can expand our programs or bring in things into our classroom that just, like I said, wouldn't be a normal expense. I mean, they've been great. I encourage my staff every year, if you've got an idea, let's throw it out there. All they can say is no, and they do a great job of raising funds to be able to support us, and luckily we've been able to get a lot of our requests answered the last couple of years. Like on the air, we have talked about our different electives, and we saw some of those highlighted here in our grants today, and it just again adds to what we are already doing, and we try to highlight that with kids. Anytime we talk about some of the special things we do, why we're able to do those, CCEF is a huge part of that.
Paul Ranstead is a first-year principal at Clinton Elementary School and says it was fun to watch the grant process play out in his building.
Yeah, it's really quite amazing the support that is available to us through the foundation. Teachers have a lot of wonderful ideas, and campaigning for the support there. A little bit of legwork up front turns out going a long way for the projects that they want to put in place for our students to have a great experience. To just see the excitement. And in some classes we visited, the students were present and their ears were like perked up and their smiles were big. Even though they may not have really understood the gesture of it, they knew something important was happening. And I think that's great to see that their teachers go above and beyond for them. They'll start to recognize that more and more. That's huge. Just builds character and works on our social emotional learning and all that fun stuff.
The Clinton Community Education Foundation also hosts various fundraisers throughout the year and administers scholarships in the spring. You can visit ccef15.org or follow them on Facebook for more. News time is 16 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Tuesday. It's the time of year many high school seniors are looking for scholarships to attend higher education institutions. On the WHOW Morning Show Monday, Piatt County Sheriff Mark Vogelzang told Regional Radio the Piatt County Sheriff's Department is offering a $500 scholarship courtesy of the Illinois Sheriff's Association. The deadline to apply is this Friday.
The end of this week, March 14th is the deadline. All sheriffs, I'd say probably a majority of the sheriffs throughout the state work with the Sheriff's Association. Piatt County has a $500 scholarship. So if you have a student that's going to be going off to college, you can stop by our office if you live in Piatt County, or if you live in a different county, stop by that sheriff's office or check the Illinois Sheriff's Association's website for a scholarship information in the packet. Really only about 3 limitations. You have to be a permanent resident of Illinois. They must be utilized at institutions or higher learning within the state of Illinois. And then the student must be enrolled as a full-time student during 2025-26 school year.
Although the scholarship is not just for students who plan to enter law enforcement, the sheriff notes they take pride in assisting the education of those students who are on the path towards law enforcement.
And it can be one of those, you don't necessarily have to go into law enforcement, but we want to help our students further their education if they're interested. You can go to 2 places. You can go to the sheriff's office within your county and or to the Illinois Sheriff's Association's webpage.
And again, that deadline to apply for the Sheriff's Scholarship is this Friday, March 14th. Visit the Piatt County Sheriff's Office at 1216 Raymond Road in Monticello or visit ilsheriff.org. News time is 19 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Tuesday. We've got plenty more to get to coming up on the WHOW Morning Show.
We value your trust in us. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. Yes, our goal is to earn your trust each and every day. That's why we have prices posted for each car, truck, and SUV, new or used, on our lot, or on our website. Currently, we have a great selection of new and used Silverados priced to move in 1,500, 2,500, or 3,500s. Come see us and all our inventory. Baum Chevrolet Buick. We want to be your trusted transportation option. BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
News time is 19 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Tuesday. I'm Seth Lawrence with the folks today for this expanded local newscast, streaming to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. News is brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. Taylorville firefighters spent hours battling a devastating fire Sunday afternoon and evening. The fire took place at The fire occurred in the 3000 block of South Spresser Street in the Christian County community. The blaze, which broke out around 4 p.m., destroyed a home and 2 vehicles parked outside. Emergency crews responded to the scene after reports a male occupant was trapped inside the burning residence. However, by the time Taylorville fire officials arrived, the man had managed to escape through a window. He was evaluated by medical personnel but declined treatment or transport. Firefighters described a challenging situation as the house was fully engulfed in flames upon arrival. A downed power line in the front yard added to the danger, sparking as crews worked to contain the fire. Due to the intense conditions, firefighters could only attack the blaze from the outside, deploying multiple hand lines to bring the flames under control. Water shuttle service operations were required because of the home's distance from the nearest hydrant. Taylorville Fire received mutual aid from Awanaco and Morrisonville Palmer Fire Protection Districts, while Stonington Fire covered the Taylorville station. The fire also ignited a brush fire on the east side of the property, threatening neighboring homes. Crews were quickly redeployed to prevent further spread. Firefighters remained on the scene until approximately 7 p.m., using large amounts of water and conducting extensive overhaul efforts to put out lingering hot spots. The American Red Cross had stepped in to assist the displaced homeowner. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. Be prepared for that summer vacation. Prices at the pump, though, could go up due to various issues in Washington, according to Patrick DeHaan with Gas Buddy. A petroleum analyst with Gas Buddy, that is. Tariffs on the nation's capital could raise prices to nearly $4 this summer.
But all in all, there probably will be some impact here. Not so much today, tomorrow, or next week, but over the next few weeks, these tariffs could boost gas and diesel prices by anywhere from 5 to 15 cents a gallon. Well, I don't think we're going to see anything near record-setting levels, and I'm hopeful that we will see cooler heads prevail and these tariffs will start to move backwards. I think this summer we'll see gas prices across most of the country hovering in the mid $3 range. Now, in Illinois, that may be a little bit higher, closer to $4, but it should not be a record-setting summer at the pump. And hopefully, these tariffs will be reversed in plenty of time ahead of the summer driving season.
The average gallon of gas in Illinois sits at $3.21. The Illinois Farm Bureau actively engaged Student of the Month for March is Owen Coker from Richland County High School in Olney. 4-H and the Country Clovers have been a big part of his life.
I started out actually as part of the Clover Buds there, which it's really big on me how big family is, because we had, my grandma was my Clover Buds leader, and then now that I'm actually in Country Clovers, I have my mom and my aunt as my leaders, and I've had most of my cousins go through this 4-H program, so it was always big when I was a little kid. I was like always something that I was looking forward to doing, and I'm really happy that I'm able to do it now and really take it full throttle, because I'm currently the Country Clovers president for our club. And I kind of slowly worked up doing all the officer positions. And some of my best memories doing the Country Clovers is during our fair week showing my woodworking projects. My favorite one is I made a swinging bed, and taking that to State Fair was a really cool experience for me, because I mean, this thing was huge, and me and my dad had to work really hard to even get it through the door at the State Fair building.
Coker is also an Olney FFA'er, a student council member, a multi-sport athlete, and an FCA chaplain. If you're looking for a career that involves working outdoors, Ameren, Illinois may have what you're looking for. The utility is seeking linemen and linewomen to work in all kinds of weather conditions, so one must be physically fit. Kevin Place is the director of electric training for Ameren, Illinois, and says linemen will work in extreme heat and cold.
I still think the ice storms are a lot more challenging for our workers to be able to first get to where they need to get safely, and it's usually a multi-day event when ice comes and we have that accumulation. So I would always say an ice storm is the most challenging for us to safely restore power.
If you would like to learn about becoming a lineman, visit AmerenIllinois.com. Sorry, that's Ameren.com/careers. Again, that's Ameren.com/careers. Training typically lasts 3 years and is 6,000 hours of training. Thinking about an excavation project on the farm this spring? An important reminder from the Illinois Farm Bureau Director of Regulatory Affairs, Bill Bodine.
Farmers, landowners, anyone out there that's going to be doing any kind of digging, any kind of excavation, anything more than farm tillage, you are required by Illinois law to call Julie and ensure that any sort of utilities that might be on the property are marked, so you know where they are, you can be safe around them, you can avoid them. And that's the real message I want to remind people of. This is all about safety. I hear sometimes some farmers might say, well, I don't have time to make that phone call. I don't want to have to wait to do the work. Again, you're required by law to do it, number one. But number two, and most importantly, this is about safety. We've had some unfortunate incidents in Illinois. We've had some close calls in Illinois. And making that phone call, asking for those utilities to be located, taking the time to do that could be the difference between you getting home safely at night or not. It could be the difference between your employees or your family members getting home safely at night or not. And so just want to remind everyone to please, if you're going to be doing any work, call Julie, call 811 and ask for a locate request. You can also go to their website, Illinois call, all one word, Illinois1call.com, and you can put a request online. You need to do that 3 days in advance of any work you want to do, and that'll give the utilities time to come out and mark those underground utilities that may be there.
Bodine spoke about the importance of Julie, that's short for Joint Utility Locating Information for Excavators, during the Illinois Farm Bureau Governmental Affairs Leadership Conference last month in Springfield. And again, the number is 811, or visit Illinois1call.com. That's Illinois1call.com, and the service is free. 27 minutes after 7 o'clock is news time on this Tuesday. Time now for a look at this morning's obituaries. 93-year-old Sharon V. Gardner of Denton, Texas, formerly of Clinton, passed away February 19th at Carriage House Assisted Living in Denton, Texas. Services for 93-year-old Sharon V. Gardner will be Tuesday, March the 18th at Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton, with Stephen Gardner officiating. Burial will follow at Maroa Cemetery in Maroa. The visitation will be from 10 to 11 a.m. Tuesday at the funeral home. Memorials can be directed to the Concho Hearts Hospice of San Angelo, Texas, or Anchor of Hope Hospice of Plano, Texas. 71-year-old Janice P. Sprague of Clinton passed away March 6th at HSHS St. John's Hospital in Springfield. Arrangements for 71-year-old Janice P. Sprague are incomplete at Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton. 89-year-old Shirley M. Humphreys of Decatur passed away March 6th at Hilltop Skilled Nursing and Rehabilitation in Charleston. Graveside services for 89-year-old Shirley M. Humphreys will be at 2 p.m. Wednesday, March 12th at Weldon Cemetery in Weldon, with Pastor Jeff Rawlings officiating. The family has entrusted Calvert Funeral Home of Clinton with arrangements. Memorials can be directed to the Macon County Humane Society. 29 minutes after 7 o'clock is news time on this Tuesday. Coverage of news brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and we stream to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin insurance agent in Clinton. We come up on 7:30 on this Tuesday. Network news comes your way, followed by a look at network sports and local sports. Boys basketball Supersectional action last night in various locations across central Illinois. We've got those scores coming up. A couple of local teams who were having fantastic seasons had their years come to an end. Those stories come up next in sports.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. Talks focusing on ending the Russia-Ukraine war are underway in Saudi Arabia. Secretary of State Rubio leading the U.S. delegation in discussions with Ukrainian officials. The talks come hours after Ukraine launched a massive drone attack on Russia and in the aftermath of recent stepped-up Russian attacks on Ukraine. The House will vote today on a stopgap funding bill to avert a looming partial government shutdown. The money bill will keep federal agencies going through September. President Trump's advice to Republicans: stand united in their support of the bill. Amid legal action over the arrest, the president says the detention of a pro-Hamas campus organizer is just the start. The day after recession fears sparked a big sell-off on Wall Street this morning, stock futures have been higher so far. The Dow futures are up 89 points, NASDAQ futures ahead 59. More details at srnnews.com.
Share 55.
With SRN Sports, I'm George Williams. In NBA action last night, the Nets defeated the Lakers 111-108. Lakers had an 8-game winning streak snapped in Boston. This second loss is also going to be more costly as LeBron James suffered a left groin injury in the fourth quarter of the game. The team doesn't know how long their legendary forward will be sidelined. Other action, Hawks beat the 76ers. It was the Celtics winning again 114-108 over the Jazz. Then the Hornets defeated the Heat. Raptors winners over the Wizards 119-104. Bulls got the best of the Pacers 121-103. Rockets down the Magic. In a close game, the Grizzlies prevailed over the Suns 120-118. Then the Nuggets over the Thunder 140-127. Mavericks beat the Spurs 133-129. Then the Warriors winners over the Trailblazers 130-120. And the Knicks beat the Kings 133-104. This is SRN Sports. NHL action, Sabres beat the Oilers 3-2, Senators over the Red Wings 2-1, Avalanche shut out the Blackhawks 3-0, and it was the Maple Leafs over Utah 4-3. NCAA men's college basketball play, just one game among ranked teams. 21st ranked St. Mary's defeated Pepperdine 74-59. And then the coaches poll is out, and as expected, Auburn's 2 losses last week cost them to fall in the poll. Duke is now number 1, Houston number 2. And then filling that out, then you're going to have Houston as number 3. Then Florida is moving up there fourth. And then the Crimson Tide is up to the 5th place position. St. John's still in 6th. Then Marquette, Michigan State, Tennessee, Texas Tech, and Clemson rounding out the top 10. New York's pitching staff in the baseball Yankees going to be hurting. Ace Garrett Cole out with Tommy John surgery, and their Rookie of the Year, Lewis Gill, is out also. This is SRN Sports.
Time now for a look at sports. I'm Seth Lawrence with this report. Supersectional boys basketball action from Monday night rather. Class 1A Peoria Christian got by Greenfield 66-49, and a great season comes to an end for Leroy as they fall to Chicago Hope Academy 47-44. Class 2A, an exceptional season for Williamsville comes to an end as they're knocked off by Peoria Manual 52-29. State finals this weekend in Champaign. Get sports anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.